Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be lighting a cigarette with my new Marlboro Jet Lighter for the first time, which I am looking forward to doing much more so than not, as I think this lighter is pretty dang cool, to say the least. And so as such, I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad it actually is to light cigarettes with. Will it be good or will it be bad to light cigarettes with? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out. And if I had to guess, this lighter is probably going to work better to light cigarettes with because, well, it is indeed a jet lighter. But as said, I don't know anything for sure, and so as such, I'm looking forward to finding out during today's video, and I'm also, just in general, looking forward to lighting a cigarette with this lighter right here for the first time as well. But where exactly did I get this lighter from? Well, this lighter was not purchased by me. It was actually purchased by a family member of mine in Mexico when they were on a trip there. They said that they were in an antique store slash secondhand shop, and while they were in there, they saw this lighter sitting on a shelf. And so as such, they figured I might appreciate it as a gift, and they picked it up for me. And I certainly do appreciate this lighter as a gift, to say the least. I don't know exactly how much they spent on this lighter, but if I had to guess, they probably didn't spend over $10 USD, just simply because otherwise they probably would not have bought it for me, in all honesty. And from what I can tell, this Marlboro branded lighter is meant to promote the Marlboro racing teams, as this lighter is indeed in the shape of a piston, as we can see, which is very cool if I do say so myself. And from what I can tell, this lighter is from the late 1990s or early 2000s. There's a little bit of information on this lighter online, but not really all that much, so I can't really say exactly what year this lighter is actually from, but sometime in the 1990s or early 2000s, something like that, from what I can tell at least. But, you know, that's pretty much what this lighter is as a whole. That's where it came from, and that's roughly how much it cost. I do suppose now, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and start showcasing this lighter up close and personal and show you guys all of the details of it. And then after that, I should probably go ahead and show you guys how this lighter actually works and what the flame actually looks like. And then after that, I suppose I should probably go ahead and get a cigarette all lit up with my new used Marlboro Jet Lighter from Mexico for the first time. As said though, let's go ahead and first off go over the look of this lighter, starting off with the general shape and color of this lighter. We can see that this lighter has a very nice silvery metal color, and it has a decent amount of weight to it as well. And if I had to guess, at least this is actually a metal lighter. It doesn't really feel like the highest quality metal in the world, but it also doesn't feel like plastic, so I am pretty sure that this lighter is actually made out of metal, which is pretty nice if I do say so myself. You know, it's a very nice sort of I'd have to say matte machine, sort of silvery metal look, to say the least. And as said previously, we can see that this lighter is in the shape of a piston. Starts off a little bit high up here with some divots going around, and then there's like a seal right here, and then it goes to like the rod right here, which this does not look too much like a piston. It's really the top that looks most like a piston, but we can kind of see what they're going for and everything like that kind of thing. And overall, this is very, very, very cool. It's a very interestingly shaped lighter in my personal opinion, and that's without even mentioning that this lighter has carbon fiber on it. Well, probably not real carbon fiber, probably fake carbon fiber. As we can see on the sides right there, there's a little bit of carbon fiber, so you know it's a racing spec lighter that's meant to look like a piston just simply because it's got some carbon fiber on it and everything like that kind of thing. That is for sure. But you know, this lighter looks like a piston a little bit more so than not. It's got that very nice sort of silver matte machined sort of metal color to it, I guess is really the right way of putting it. And there's definitely a lot of aspects to it that make me just think that it's meant to be a, well, racing sort of inspired lighter, or a lighter that's meant to support and advertise the Marlboro racing teams and whatnot. That's what the general color and look of the lighter is like. Let's go ahead and now start covering the details. Starting off with the very top up here, we can see that while this might look flat, it actually does have a little bit of a bend to it. It is actually just a little bit curved. The very top of this lighter is just a little bit curved, which is pretty nice. It's a nice little detail. They could have definitely made this flat, but they did not, which is something I do appreciate. We can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4 little holes in the top of the piston, just right there and everything like that kind of thing. And I think this is meant to just look like the top of a piston, if I had to guess, at least the top of a car piston to be precise, more than likely, although it very well could be a motorcycle piston as well. Marlboro has advertised and sponsored like MotoGP teams before and everything like that. They have not just sponsored rally and Formula One previously. They've also done MotoGP, so I do suppose this could be a motorcycle engine piston. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know enough about car engines or motorcycle engines or just pistons in general to say exactly what vehicle this piston is from, but if I had to guess, it's probably from a car or a motorcycle. That's just a personal guess of mine, though. You know, as said, we could see like 4 little holes up there, just making it look just a little bit more like a piston than not, to say the least. And then just moving on to the front of the lighter right here, we can see there's 1, 2, 3 little kind of lines right there, just stretching all the way around the lighter. And we can see there's a little bit of a line kind of going down and then back up just like that as well. These are meant to be like seal lines, I want to say, for the piston, so it doesn't like have like too much air going like next to it or anything like that kind of thing, but like just the right amount of air. So I think normally in an engine this would, I'm not a mechanic, I've never taken apart an engine before, I don't know what I'm talking about, do take what I say with a grain of salt, but I think this would like normally have a seal on it, like, or something like that kind of thing, to like make sure that like not too much air or not too little air goes through or anything like that kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure. Do take what I say with a grain of salt. As said, I'm not a mechanic, but there's these little grooves right here, to say the least. And then under that, there's a red line right there in that red line. Ooh, is that a reference to the anime Red Line, or is that a reference to car red lines? Oh, I don't know. I think this lighter, I'm getting words all jumbled up. I think this lighter is making a reference to the anime Red Line. That's pretty wild if I do say so myself. Great anime, by the way. I really like it. But we can see there is a red line going all the way around the lighter, just like that. And I assume that this is probably meant to be another gasket, or maybe it's just meant to represent the end of the top of the piston or something like that kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure. And below the red line right there, we can see the lighter starts getting a little bit thinner on the edges. Not so much when you fold it to the side or push it to the side just like that. Like, it does get a little bit thinner, but it gets significantly thinner when you hold it to the front just like that. And we can see there's some lines just kind of going across. Like, this area is just kind of flat, but then these kind of curve in just a little bit, which is very interesting if I do say so myself. And on this flat area right here below this red line, we can see it just says Marlboro right there, just vertically, just like that. The Marlboro text itself doesn't have any color to it, but it is very nicely embossed, so we can see it quite easily, but it just says Marlboro right there, and that same sort of silvery metal color, sort of machined metal color, I definitely have to say. And then to the side of that, we can see embossed once again with a silver slash metally background, there is the Marlboro ribbon right there with the actual Marlboro red color itself being used on the ribbon, which is something I very much do appreciate. This is the only Marlboro logo on the entirety of the lighter, but it looks great in my personal opinion. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Moving on, below this right here, there's really not too much going on until the bottom of the lighter, but moving on to the side right here, we can see there is some carbon fiber just right there and whatnot, which is pretty nice if I do say so myself. Probably fake, just plastic carbon fiber, but it looks like carbon fiber nonetheless. And moving on to the other side, we just get that carbon fiber once again. We can see like some like little sticky areas right here, like where it looks like there used to be gum or something like that kind of thing. Not exactly sure. That's just actually wiping off really easily. I should have done that before this video in all honesty, but we can definitely tell that this lighter is not like brand spanking new by any means. It has been used a little bit, to say the least. After all, this was in a secondhand shop just by itself out of the box. Otherwise, I would have the box with me today, and this would be an unboxing video as well. But that's pretty much all that's going on with the look of the top and the overall just rest of the lighter. But what about the bottom of the lighter? Well, the bottom of the lighter is just pretty basic. Nothing too much going on in all honesty. There's just a screw in the center right there, and I assume by unscrewing that, you just take off the probably bottom of the lighter just like that or something like that kind of thing, so you can actually get to the inside of it. I'm not exactly sure. I have not taken apart this lighter by any means. And we can also see there is a flame adjustment right there with the butane filler just right in the middle of that adjustment as well. We can see there's like a minus sign on this side, a plus sign on this side. So, that's just the butane adjustment just like that. And that's pretty much all that's going on with the overall look of this lighter. In hand, this lighter feels pretty nice. It's not as, I'd have to say, ergonomic as something like, let's say, a Bic lighter. It's probably about the same as a Zippo lighter in all honesty. But, it doesn't feel bad in hand by any means. It's not unergonomic. It's not uncomfortable. It's just not as comfy as some other lighters I've used. But the weight of this lighter is very nice, if I do say so myself. It has a very nice significant weight to it. Just getting my Zippo lighter out of my pocket real quick. Which one of these is heavier? I'd have to say they're pretty dang close in all honesty, and my Zippo lighter has a soft flame butane insert in it. So this is a little bit heavier than a normal Zippo, but I'd have to say they're about the same. This is a much heavier lighter than not, which gives it a lot of significance and really makes it feel like quality. And honestly, this lighter really does feel like quality. I wouldn't want to drop this lighter on the ground just simply because I wouldn't want to dent it up or anything like that. But I have faith that if I drop this lighter on concrete from like 5 feet or something like that kind of thing, I don't think it would break super easily. I hope at least, like maybe the carbon fiber piece would come off or something like that. But I feel like it would still probably work in all honesty. Overall, pretty good quality lighter in my personal opinion. Very nice weight to it. Decently ergonomic to say the least. But how does this lighter actually work? Does it work well? And how do we actually get a flame from it? Well, the way you get a flame from this lighter is you see these see this little dip right there. Well, that's actually a hinge. So you just go just like that, and there's the flame right there. And you just let it back, and it goes away. Easy as that. Very, very, very easy mechanism to use. Frankly put, you literally just fold it back just like that, covers back up. Super easy to use in all honesty. From what I can tell, this is an electric flame lighter, which is not the greatest in all honesty. I'm not really the biggest fan of not electric flame lighters, but it's an electric spark lighter. I'm not really the biggest fan of electric spark lighters just simply because I don't personally consider them to be as reliable as flint wheel lighters. But I mean, like, hey, I can't complain too much by any means. This is a Marlboro branded lighter. It looks great, has a great weight to it. It's a jet lighter. Most jet lighters are electric spark anyway, so I can't really complain in all honesty. I can't really complain. But, overall, very, very, very easy lighter to use. Not so easy to adjust the flame level itself. That was a little bit more difficult than not, I will acknowledge. But very easy lighter to use. I'm thinking it should be easy to light a cigarette with as well, and I'm thinking it should work pretty well to light a cigarette with as well in all honesty. Overall, good quality lighter, good looking lighter, interesting looking lighter, good weight, good quality, good usage, easy to use. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Well, I do suppose without further ado, there's really only one more thing left for me to do, and that is to get a cigarette lit up with my new Marlboro Jet Lighter for the first time. Before I go ahead and do that though, and before I go ahead and introduce guys to the cigarette that I'm going to be lighting with this lighter today, I first off need to take a little bit of a sip of water, as I could definitely go for one right now. So let's just take a little bit of a sip of water from my Nalgene water bottle that I've got. And now that I have done that, let's go ahead and introduce the cigarette that I'm going to be smoking today. And I will acknowledge that I am doing a little bit of a disservice to this lighter today. Because while I am going to be lighting a Marlboro cigarette with my new Marlboro Jet Lighter, I'm not going to be lighting a Marlboro from America. I'm not going to be lighting a Marlboro from Canada. I'm not going to be lighting a Marlboro, Oh, I just spoiled what I'm doing, actually. I got my words all jumbled up. I'm going to be lighting a Marlboro from Canada. Yeah, I'm going to be lighting a Marlboro from Canada with this Marlboro lighter right here, which actually, Marlboros in Canada aren't actually like American Marlboros or Mexican Marlboros, because they're made by a completely different company. They haven't been owned by the same company for like almost 100 years now. So I am doing a little bit of a disservice to this lighter in all honesty. It would be proper to actually use like an American Marlboro or a Mexican Marlboro or a Japanese Marlboro or something like that kind of thing. But no, I'm using a Canadian Marlboro for this video today, which is pretty ironic because this lighter was probably commissioned by Philip Morris International, if I had to guess. Probably not Philip Morris USA, but probably commissioned by Philip Morris International. And these cigarettes are not produced by any Philip Morris company at all. So, kind of doing a disservice to the lighter today, but it's a Marlboro cigarette nonetheless, so I'm gonna take it. Without further ado though, let's go ahead and get my pack of Canadian Marlboro Original cigarettes all opened up. Let's go ahead and get one of the cigarettes all out. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and close that pack back just like that. And I do suppose now, as the sun is now coming in my face, don't take that clip out of context. I realized I probably shouldn't have said it like that. But now that I have taken my Marlboro cigarette out of the pack, and now that I have it in my hand, I do suppose it is time for me to go ahead and get a cigarette lit up with my Marlboro Jet Lighter from Mexico for the first time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this cigarette right here all lit up, and let's go ahead and find out just how good or just how bad this lighter right here actually is to light cigarettes with. Yes sir, you know what I'm saying. I gotta admit, that worked really well. That was really good to light cigarettes with, frankly put. I think the flame could have been a bit bigger, but no, it worked very well, if I do say so myself. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. And the flame needing to be a bit bigger, that's not the lighter's fault. That's my own fault for not adjusting it up higher than I did have it at, in all honesty. But, you know, for a jet lighter, this worked really well to light my cigarette with, frankly put. Usually, I'm not really the biggest fan of using jet lighters to light cigarettes with, just simply because I personally think that they tend to singe a little bit more of the cigarette off than really needs be. I personally prefer using like soft flame or yellow flame lighters to light my cigarettes with, rather than jet lighters. But out of every single jet lighter I've ever lit a cigarette with, I gotta admit, this one has probably worked the best. And I think it might honestly be down to the fact that the flame was a little bit lower than not, because I didn't adjust it up super high. Like at this flame height, this lighter would probably be really bad to light cigars with, but I think it's actually just about perfect to light cigarettes with. And most jet lighters are designed to light cigars, frankly put. So it's really no surprise that they're not really super good at lighting cigarettes. This one though, it's Marlboro branded, so I think it's probably definitely designed to light cigarettes. And since I didn't adjust the flame too high, well, it worked really well to light a cigarette with, frankly put. Does this lighter work well to light cigarettes with? Yeah, I'd have to say it certainly does. I'd have to say this lighter works very well to light cigarettes with. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. And it just looks really cool and really good while doing so as well. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, y'all. Did I get any sort of a taste from the fluid when I first lit up the cigarette? Maybe a little bit of a taste, but nothing like significant by any means. It went away very fast, even faster than the taste from a yellow flame lighter, in my personal opinion. So really nothing abnormal, frankly put. As a whole, you know, this lighter worked pretty well to light my cigarette, and you know, it lit my cigarette very well. Really not too much else to say. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. Let's go and grab myself a little bit of a screenshot, you know what I'm saying? The sun is kind of in my face right now, so I'm struggling just a little bit. Well, hopefully one of those will do as a screenshot. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. The sun definitely coming in my face just a little bit more so than not. So was a little bit hard to focus on trying to grab a screenshot and everything like that kind of thing. But ain't no biggie, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no biggie. As a whole, my cigarette I'm smoking right now, which is not really a real Marlboro, but at the same time is a very real Marlboro as well, is pretty good. Not bad by any means. Definitely does not taste like a Marlboro cigarette from Mexico or like a Marlboro cigarette from the United States. Tastes very different, to say the least. But it's a good smoke that's giving me a nice buzz, so I certainly am enjoying it. As a whole, though, I am very happy with this lighter right here. And I am very thankful to one of my family members for having been kind enough to pick it up. I'll have to let them know that it's very good to light cigarettes with. I already shared with them that I got it to work and everything like that when they picked it up. And when I got it, it did not work. It was out of fluid. And I wasn't sure if it was going to need more than just fluid or if it was going to need some tinkering or something like that kind of thing. But no, just needed some fluid in it. Just started working just perfectly. So I'm going to have to let them know it's good to light cigarettes with. That is for sure. It's a nice day today. Not too warm, not too cold. Sitting on a bench in a little bit of a park with the forest behind me right now. Good times, you know what I'm saying? This is a good spot to vibe. Good spot to light a cigarette with my new Marlboro Jet Lighter for the first time, that's for sure. Well, I think that's pretty much all there was to this cigarette. I'm gonna go ahead and just stub it out on the ground real quick. This bench is a little bit awkward. It's a little bit difficult to do that, but there's some sand under me, so it's not too bad. But just went ahead and stubbed it out as we can see. There's a trash can right off camera, right there. I'm gonna throw this cigarette butt away after I have finished up the video, but I do suppose it's now time for me to go and give you guys my final thoughts on this lighter, and then after that it's time for me to go ahead and, well, end the video right there. So what are my final thoughts on this lighter? Do I like it or do I not? I like this lighter. I like this lighter quite a bit. It's definitely a very cool lighter. It works very well to light cigarettes up with, and I think it'll work pretty well in the wind as well, if I had to guess. It's like not breezy at all right now, but I'm thinking it's gonna work well to light cigarettes up in the wind and whatnot. So if it's a windy day, I might bring this lighter with me, although I'm probably just not gonna be carrying this lighter with me too much. I don't want it to get dented and scratched up in my pocket and everything like that kind of thing. This is gonna be more of a lighter that I just keep at home or that I take to parties or something like that kind of thing, just to flex and show off or something like that. I say, as I don't really go to any parties. Yeah, I don't really go to parties, frankly put, so not actually sure if I'm gonna actually be bringing this lighter to any parties, because I don't really go to parties, but this would be a good party lighter, in all honesty, as long as you don't let anybody else take it, because I would never let this out of my hand. I would never let this lighter out of my sight if I went to a party. This lighter would get stolen so fast if I did. Yeah, I would never let this lighter out of my sight, frankly put. But I do think if you don't let this lighter out of your sight, I think it would be a good party lighter, and it's just a good lighter to light cigarettes up with, whether it's still or whether it's a little bit windy, if I had to guess at least. Overall, good lighter, good looking lighter that I'm looking forward to using much more in the future, and just a lighter that I like more so than not. I like it, to say the least. My overall rating for this lighter is a solid 4 out of 4. It's a Marlboro branded jet lighter, and I like it a lot, to say the least. Certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video today, where I lit a cigarette with my new Marlboro Jet Lighter for the first time. If you guys haven't enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel, all in the description down below. Go check it all out. But, yeah, no, thank you so much for watching, y'all. Till the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?